I've just allowed you. Yeah. Okay. So okay, who's the pair that is assigned? Do you prepare slides for us, or Wafri, who's the next person?
Sorry, let me check real quick. Yes, it should be Pavitran's group.
Okay, so is Pavitran here?
Yes, madam, but we didn't prepare any slides.
Okay.
But I can explain you directly. The line assigned for me and my partner is line, wait, let me check. It's line 9 to line 13. So my partner already did the analysis for line 9 to line 10. So according to 9 to 10, we can conclude that his wife reaction was plain and unpredictable. And she even asked her husband this kind of question that shows she's not interested. And for the line 12 to line 13, which is my part, I think, okay, I think the protagonist is emotionally not stable. So she filled with envy and jealousy because she couldn't afford a life like a rich friend. So she's a materialistic person, and with that kind of mindset that makes her feel so frustrated and angry. That's what I can analyze from this. So sorry, my partner is not available. I tried to WhatsApp her. I think she's not available. So that's all from me, madam. Thank you.
Okay, any other information? Because okay, you said that she is materialistic. In terms of psychological traits, any psychological traits?
She's emotionally not stable. Maybe she overthinks or some kind of jealousy things. I'm not sure how to explain it exactly, but sometimes we are not stable, right? When we keep comparing ourselves with someone else. So maybe she's not exactly like a trauma, but it's something like, how do you say, she's not stable. She keeps comparing her life with someone who is affordable to get everything.
Why do you usually do that?
Maybe that's her nature, or she's trying to balance her life by comparing with someone's life. I think so.
Can you connect with what I said last week? Yeah.
Sorry, I don't remember. I have lost my notes already. So
okay. All right. Apart from that, I remember that I mentioned this last week also, that please inform us the stage of which you think this lines would refer to in terms of the plot progression.
oh, this is the beginning of the story, maybe the, what do you call, the beginning stage.
Okay, what do you call the beginning stage?
I'm sorry, I don't know. So sorry. Beginning stage.
Okay, I think this is week 6 already, and I keep on mentioning about literary elements, about the characters, and I talk about main, major, but these are for me, this is meant for local students. Yeah, you studied literature since Form 1, and Form 1, Form 2, Form 3, Form 4, Form 5, that's 5 years, and I would have thought, at least something would
It's that
stay
introduction, madam.
yeah, I know it's introduction, but What do you call that in terms of the technical
Oh, in
terms of
terms
the
of,
plot structure?
okay, so exposition.
Okay, so this would
Sorry, I
be
just
the,
Googled it.
well, at this stage, it should be, you should kind of know it at your fingertips, yeah, rather than Googling. But anyway, so this would be the, because you know more about the character, here the female characters, the characters that we encountered in the beginning. So we know more about her, and previously she is dissatisfied with what she has. She keeps on comparing with others, what she has and what she does not have. Yeah. So usually when we look at it from the psychological aspect, this is someone who has, really huge inferiority complex. Yeah. And so this is when we look at the psychological aspects, so you are actually going into the psychoanalytic criticism, another area or another literary theory that you can venture into in discussing the in analyzing the short story. Yeah. So but we are, since we are doing this together, and the analysis, I would say, in detail, this short story, I will not assign you to do the theme paper. So you're going to be assigned any of the four short stories. Yeah. But look at the several directions that we have talked about. Yeah, we've talked about the biography of the writer. We talked about social culturalism. We talked about eco criticism when we look at the poems. And last week we look at social class. So there is social culturalism, and also because it also talks about working class, a clerk. So there is that Marxism, theory of Marxism. So you can, look at the explanation. What is Marxism? And if we say that we want to look at the text through the eyes of Marxist theory, what does that mean? Yeah, so there are actually several questions that you can answer, and you will be given. I think there is one website, one of the university in America. It actually gives you the questions, list of questions, where to answer the question, you will be able to use the theory in your analysis. Yeah. So here, more information about the lady's inferiority complex. And we know at this point that the husband is someone who is who is extremely fond of the wife, and doing his best to make her happy. And he thought that, by getting invited into this ball, and the wife would be happy. Yeah. But this lady, yeah, is a tough lady to please. But you kind of like see the two, the pair, their characteristics are really in contrast. Yeah. One who is more down to earth, the other one who is living in a fantasy. Yeah. Okay, so let's move on to the next chunk of okay, is Halimatun here, or she still has not joined?
No, madam, she's not here. I think the laptop got some problem, technical issues.
Okay, so in cases like this, I just wish that we see face to face. Okay, let's move on. Ain, Maisara, and Chengji. We are looking at the section 14 to 18. Yeah,
Okay.
I have if you have slides to share, I have allowed multiple sharing. Yeah, so you can actually if you have anything you can share.
Okay.
Okay, who's gonna go first?
Oh, it's me, doctor.
All right.
Okay. After reading and analyzing, we can know that the wife is very angry because she doesn't have new dress to attend the prestigious, and the woman is not satisfied with her current life. It's not that she doesn't want to wear a bit of luxury, but that she can't change it because she lives in a working class. From he has never thought about that. We probably know working class only has work and does not pay much attention to family members. On the other hand, lacking know each other's heart and the needs and the feelings is the reason that the woman angry as well.
Mm-hmm. So so you would describe her as not, instead of gratitude, she felt anger towards him.
Yeah.
Okay, so so what do you call this type of wife?
Ungrateful, madam.
Okay.
Can
All right.
I
Okay.
add some more?
Yeah, yeah,
On
sure.
behalf of One Chance, okay. My name is Sarah Sarah. So let's take a look at the line one by one. So when we analyze this line, she looked at him with an irritated eye and she declared with impatience. This basically shows the characteristic of the wife. A wife is supposed to be polite to the husband, but instead, Madame Louiselle, the character of this story, she is impolite because as we know, a wife is seem very inappropriate if she doesn't respect her own husband, let alone glare at him. So we can also see that she is actually not a passive woman in the marriage because no man would allow their wife generally to be more dominant than him. So I guess I can say that she's probably the dominant in the marriage, and the husband is probably the passive one. And we can also assume that she's maybe a loud woman since she expressed her discontent to his husband instead of suppressing it. And like I said before, she's also ungrateful because her husband worked so hard to actually please him, but she's still dissatisfied with her current living style. And then she also questions on the next line, what do you want me to put on my bag to go there? So basically the bag here probably a symbol because bag is probably you can say, what do you want me to put on my body? I mean like the dress that she wants to wear. So bag probably here means what do you want me to wear? And and then the next characteristic, this is the exposition or the introductions of the Madame Louiselle husband. So if you notice, actually, Monsieur Louiselle did not have any name in the story. This probably indicate that the husband is actually not important. Probably author wanted to make the author of this story, Guy de Maupassant, probably wanted to tell the reader that this character is nameless. Probably he's not important in the story. He's not the person who is in the spotlight of the story like Madame Louiselle. But we can see that when he said that he had not thought of that, probably we can assume that the man is actually too busy working, as we mentioned in the very first line in the story that said that he is someone who is from education sector, so obviously from a working class. So like Rocco mentioned before this, when you are working class, you all you have to do is work. You probably don't some of the people who keeps working do not have the time to spend with their family, and probably Musa Liza is also at fault here because he doesn't pay too much attention to his wife. Maybe if he pay a little attention to his wife, maybe his wife wouldn't be dissatisfied. Okay, so let's move on to the next line. And he also said that, but the dress is in which you go to the theater, that looks very well to me. So here indicates that the Munsur Lizel is actually very humble person, because she thought that any clothes will fit her wife at any event. But in her wife point of view, it's actually not suitable. She wants a grander event for a grander dress for a grander event. Yeah. And then we can see that he shut up, astonished and distracted at seeing that his wife was weeping. Two big tears were descending slowly from the corner of the eyes to the corner of the mouth. He started. So when he shut up, we can confirm that the guy is actually the passive one in the story, in the marriage, and he also loved his wife so much. That's why he doesn't want to pick a fight with his wife that he cannot afford to buy a new clothes, or perhaps he cannot buy new clothes for her or be considerate. That's why he shut up, because he wants to be considerate. And after seeing that his wife had two big tears descending slowly from the corner of the eyes, then he thinks of something. So this shows that this Monsieur Liza probably is in love with his wife. So he wants everything for his wife. So I think that's all from me. Thank you.
Okay. So, okay, you must have heard something. Okay, anyway. If you look at 14 and 18, again, more information about Louisa, Matilda, and also the husband. And you will be able to pick up a number of adjectives. I think I said ungrateful. And from the lines that you have shown just now, you can identify she is impatient. She has anger issues, anger management issues. She is impolite, yeah, and I don't know. I kind of think more like abusive also. She is. If you look at the dynamic, yeah, between the husband and wife, this is so in contrast of the norm during that period of time. In that culture, husband and wife, you would respect each other, and this is in the I think the story is in early 20th century. You still in the Western society, you still have very much paternal society, where the female should be should respect the wife should respect the husband, and the husband is the boss in the family. Yeah, but here you actually see very different. The dynamics is so very different. The strong character would be the wife, the husband very timid and just follow. The question whether I raised the question whether perhaps he loves her too much, and that's why he just just follow, just try to fulfill whatever his wife's need. But I'm kind of thinking the kind of individual Matilda is, I would say well put up, pretty, and that kind of thing. And this guy, um, Major Louisel, is more. I mean, he's from working class, and for him to actually marry this lady, so I would say he was just like over the moon, and he felt that he is so lucky to get her as his wife, and that's why he does everything in his power to make her happy. Yeah, but yeah, but it's very difficult to please her. So you have uh, in the beginning we only we have information about Mathilda, but now we will introduce to the husband, and now we get more. Even though the husband does not have many speaking lines, and also the description is not so much about him, but it is more of Mathilda. But you kind of like pick up, yeah. More about his characteristic and also the dynamics of the relationship between the husband and wife. And we also can bring in issues on social culturalism, because we talk about a relationship between husband and wife. A wife should respect the husband and all that. And that was in the 16th century, 17th century, 19th century, 20th century, and now 21st century. It is also the dynamics is like that. It's just that more of now the relationship is on equal footing in the Western society, but in Eastern society, especially in Southeast Asia, we still have that where a husband and wife, it's not on equal footing. Yeah, the husband is like put on pedestal and higher than the way where the wife stands. Yeah, so they don't stand um, shoulder to shoulder, but you kind of like in southeastern culture and society, the husband is still like 2 or 3 steps higher in terms of a social footing. Yeah, so let's move on to this is again you have this is more of the rising action. Yeah, because you are introduced to the conflict, because she doesn't know what to wear. Yeah, she has gotten the invitation, she should be happy, but she's not, because she said, what do you want me to wear? Okay, so let's move on to the next pair. We have from 24 to 29, yeah? Dandan and Maiza.
Madam, we didn't prepare any slide. Is it okay if I present it verbally?
Okay.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to explain the meaning for each line first, and then my partner will present some of the literary elements that we found from this line. Okay. So from what we have discussed, the first line, which is line 24, means that she take a moment to think of an amount that would neither be refused by her husband or scare him. And then in the second line, she finally told the amount of money that she wants to her husband, but at the same time, she is still uncertain about it and nervous. And then in the third line, which is in line 26, she said that she would be able to get a new dress if her husband give her 400 francs. We think that she seems generosity and it's revealing the traits that hide under the surface of her outer beauty. And then in the line 27, her husband was reluctant as had saved only that much with his friend. And then in the last, her the money and asked her to buy a good dress. Her husband sacrificed his own happiness for the sake of his wife. And unlike his wife, he does not find happiness in material possession, but rather in the happiness and the company of others. That's why he is willing to give all of his savings to make sure his wife happy. Now I'm going to pass this to my partner, Wan Dan.
Yeah, we think the subject is love. And because if the husband doesn't love her, he won't make his wife happy, and he will uh, prioritize his happiness first. But he willing support a huge savings that he had saved for years to buy a gown for his hubby, for buying a pretty dress for his wife so that she could attend a big party and enjoy it. And we think the issue is his wife refused to attend a party because she doesn't have a new dress. And the time setting is in the evening, and the place setting is mature listening and mathematic course. And the port for lines might be major in setting conflicts. She is not wealthy yet she dreams to be, and her husband gives her money to buy a dress, but she's not satisfied until she asks her a wealthy friend to a knick-knack to borrow. That's all.
Okay, so here, if you look at what happened here, yeah, um, the husband said that, okay, she said she needs about 400 francs. And then the husband said, all right, I'll give you 400 francs. But he has the money, but the money is not to buy frivolous dress. Yeah, he put it aside because he wanted to buy a gun and treat himself um, to a trip with his friend. Yeah, but he decided to instead of use that money to buy gun and go on a hunting trip. He gave the money to the wife. So how would you describe this act of giving the money? He kept the money for himself to buy to buy something for himself, and also to go on trip with his friends. But he changed his mind and said that it's okay, we can use this money. So how would you describe the Monsieur Louisa? How would you describe this characteristic?
Maybe loving. He loves his wife. That's why he willing to sacrifice his happiness.
Okay, so all right, so he's self-sacrificing. What other words would you use to describe the husband? And of course the wife. Yeah, this is another incident or another example that you can use in in writing your paper, an example of how selfish she is. But we have kind of like collected quite a number of adjectives to describe the wife. What about the husband? Okay, self-sacrificing. What other words that you can use to describe the husband? So when you do analysis, yeah, you try to kind of like synthesize, yeah, not just to read out and then retell. Analysis is not about read, retell, summarize. It's not about that. It's about reading it and synthesizing, kind of like a filter down. Yeah, filter down. um the beginning of a story, and also the rising action of the story, it will tell you a lot. It will give you a lot of information on the character traits of the characters found in the story. and you will be able to label the characteristics through what they say, and also through what they do, through what others description of what the action of that person, or through the words of other people. Yeah, so based on the lines that you're given, you have to kind of filter down, find words to describe the characters, or find whether this action, whether this event actually sort of fit it in which stage in the plot progression. Yeah. So what another word that you can use to describe the husband? Anyone? Because he has sacrificed the money, yeah, 400 francs.
Selfless, madam.
Madam, is it filial? Filial
Mm,
husband.
filial, filial, you would use filial with a different relationship, anyone can just, you can just type in the chat box if,
Is it selfless, madam?
yeah, self-sacrificing is selfless. Okay, another anyone can come up with another adjective. Okay, let's see. Yeah, I mean that's the word that we have talked about, loving. But I guess his brand of loving. What's another, when you love someone, sometimes you have this twisted sense of love, so you would not do this thing. Yeah, so love has several ways of looking at it. Yeah. So understanding, separate, blind, yeah, obsessively, caring, yeah, well, yeah, can say caring, let's see, generous, yeah, generous, stupidly generous, I would say. What other, foolish, well, look at it in devoted, this is all silliness, yeah, but I want you to think of a word in a positive tone to describe this guy, because I think devoted, foolish, he has weird sense of prioritizing things, so I would say those are not in a positive tone. One word, one noble, yeah, but I wouldn't, noble would be, a really a great word to use, and this act of giving the 400 that was meant for him to the wife, I don't think you would consider that as a noble act. A noble act would philosophically will be greater. A very simple word, guys. I mean, like, what kind of a person you are if if you self-sacrifice yourself for another person's happiness, because that's what he did. Yeah, so he is loyal. I wouldn't say loyal, it's just kind of like a okay, it has to do with his heart, so he is okay. Let's see, can anyone just write down? It has to do with his heart. Anyone? Okay, let's see. Yeah, he is kind-hearted individual. Yeah. So more information about the husband. Yeah. I just want to find out from you people. Any of you actually take French? Which foreign language did you guys take? You guys take Arabic.
No, we take Thai and French. Some
Okay,
of us
so
take Thai.
all right. So those of you who took who's taking French, how do you pronounce the guy's name, and also how do you pronounce the lady's name?
Loisel.
The what you call it, Mr. in French. What do you?
Monsieur et Madame Loisel.
I think it's not Mademoiselle because I think she's married. So if she's married, she's a madame, right?
Madame, yeah, Madame Loisel.
Mademoiselle is for a woman who is not married. Yes.
For
I think
woman,
that her name itself is Roselle, Mathilde Roselle.
yeah, I
Loisel
don't know.
Loisel is the last name, is the family's name. So I think I said that Monsieur Loisel was not given the first name. Yeah, so he was just identified as Mr. Loisel, and but the wife is given her first name is Matilda. So Loisel is the family's name, and that's why I think they are called Monsieur and Mademoiselle or Madame. So is there a difference between Mademoiselle and Madame? Both to address female.
I think normally Mademoiselle is used for women who are not married yet. I think lah, maybe.
You guys, your French is what? First level, second level? Still first level.
Most of us are second level. Iril is doing the third level.
Ariel, you're doing third level and you're not sure. I wonder
Yeah.
what. Okay, I'm kind of like you know, if you're taking literature, it's actually to your advantage to take this so-called romantic language, yeah. Because you'll find that when you read literature, there'll be reference on French word, especially, yeah, and Germanic word. So if you know, if you're not taking French or any of that romantic language, even I mean, if you go for Spanish also would be advantage, because that would be literary texts where the setting is in Spain, or the setting is in Cuba where they use Spanish, yeah. So you'll find that if you read of course Latin would be in the literary text, because Latin is the so-called the original language of writing. But if you have Fräulein, is that French or is that more of Germanic language? German, yeah. But what it is that I wish that, you know, you guys would, yeah, that's German. I wish that you would have a choice to either choose German or French or Spanish, yeah, because these are the romantic language that will in a way help you out a little bit, yeah, because there will be references like in this short story, but you find most of the short story either German or French, and then the short story Clean Well Lighted Place, yeah, that's that mention of Spanish, yeah. So that is why for TESOL students, you know, like, okay, you don't have the opportunity, you don't have the choice to take either German or Spanish. Some of you are lucky to get French, but the other group of students, you take Thai, unless you want to teach in Thai. Yeah, so that would benefit you. But you know, if you got the chance to kind of like maybe you want to do an extra credit, yeah, while you're still because this is your second year, so you still have like two more years. So after, for those of you who are taking Thai, you might want to consider, once you're done with level 2, because I think you are to do until level 2, I think, yeah. Then you might want to go for any of these romantic language, yeah. Okay, so we have Madame Matilda Louiselle, and we have Mr. Louiselle, yeah, and this guy, kind-hearted, self-sacrificing, completely in contrast, yeah, with the wife. Okay, so, but then I guess that's why the marriage works. Opposite attracts, yeah. Okay, so let's move on to the next section. We have 30 to 33. Yeah, we have Songwei and Atika. Yeah.
Madam, sorry. I think before Maiza, it's supposed to be me and Lan Yurong for line 19 to 23.
Yeah. 19 to
Yeah.
23 is Hanisa and Yurong.
Yeah, we haven't presented.
Which line was that just now?
Maiza lines was 24 to 29, if I'm not mistaken. Us is 19 to 23.
24 to 29. Yeah. Oh, sorry. I think I skipped that. Yeah. Okay. Hanisa and Yurong.
Yeah.
Okay. Go on.
Okay. So for line 19 to 23, it's still in the rising action. Okay, so for the first line, what's the matter? So this line is actually the husband, which is Monsieur Loisel. He asked her wife gently as he tried to comfort her when he saw that she was crying. So in this line, we can actually describe his character as gentle and considerate, as he still cares about his wife, even though he was not appreciated enough by his wife. And then the next line, but by a violent effort, she had conquered her trouble, and she replied in a calm voice as she wiped her damp cheeks. So she managed to collect her feelings and then wipe off her tears. So this line showed that she actually still has some respect towards her husband, as she replied with a calm voice instead of like yelling or shouting, even if she was very upset and devastated at that time. So she didn't like purposely want to start a fight or something like that. And then the next line, the next line, nothing, only I have no clothes, and in consequences, I cannot go to this party. So give your card to some colleague whose wife has better outfit than I. So from this line, we can see that the idea of going to a party without expensive clothes and drove Matilda to tears. So she was upset because she didn't have anything to wear that could complement her beauty. And next, the subject from this line here could also be described as materialistic, as her true value is ultimately dependent on pretty clothes and also expensive jewelry. And also in this line, we could describe Matilda's character as kind of selfish, since she only thought of herself when she decided not to go to the party, even though her husband had worked hard to get the invitation for her. So next, I'm going to pass to Lan Yurong. Thank you.
Yes. They mentioned that he was disconsolate. He began again from this line. It clearly showed that he was shocked and taken aback by Methelai's words. He worked hard to obtain the invitation and thought that his wife would be satisfied, but in the end, she was not satisfied. Now, these lines, he still tries to comfort her again by asking, there said, see here, Miss Light, how much would this cost? A pro a proper dress which would do on other occasions something very simple. Louiso tries to appease Mythalize again. He wanted to make her happy. The phrase something very simple indicates that he still tries his best to make her wife happy, his wife happy, even though he barely made any money. So this is all for us.
All right. This is for everyone. Yeah, what you need to do is that you have to collect all the description of Mathilda. This is because as we progress with the story, yeah, you will find there will be changes. Yeah, there will be changes, and so you'll be able to describe Mathilda as a dynamic character. Yeah, we talked about types of characteristic: flat character, major character, minor character, a round character, dynamic character. So when you look at all the descriptions of Mathilda, yeah, um, almost I think all the words are non-complementary. So I want you to put this description, yeah, sort of like in one section, yeah, because later on we will discover something, yeah, that's for us to discover later on. I'm not going to spoil the story. So she is some of you said that she is when she said, oh, I don't have anything to wear, so you might as well give the card to someone else. You think that it is, oh, she realized in a way she is kind because she say, oh, I can't go, might as well give it to someone else. So she's just being kind and say, also, maybe someone else would enjoy going to the party. But if you look at the way she said things, the way, like the word calm, yeah, it's described as calm. So you are thinking, oh, she's calm, she's considerate now, so that is why she's not hysterical. She has she's no longer angry. So you would say, oh, she's she's considerate. Yeah, you would call it considerate. But if you look at everything else, yeah, from the beginning, the way Mathilda was described, would it match? Would it match with the word that you are using to describe Mathilda now? That she is considerate. So that is why I would like you to not just focus on the lines that you're being given, but also to try and connect and ask yourself, is there anything else that I should find, I should discover? Why does the writer, yeah, tell us all, she's hysterical, angry, and all that, and suddenly she's calm? Is this her nature, or now she realized it's no use, of going, because she has to be realistic. So do you think she is now in grip of reality, or is there something else? Yeah. And you usually when we talk about female, if you have all this description, selfish, hysterical, angry, manipulative, a bit abusive, what it is that the word manipulative is there. Yeah. So I would say the the way she goes about, she's calm and all that. It's like like a snake. Yeah, before the snake strikes, it's kind of like pull back and slowly and sort of check the situation, and then smack on the victim. Yeah, so I would say the considerate, the calmness, it's actually something else. Yeah, so it is in a way putting an act, manipulating so that she will get away. So she is, to me, this is her. Slowly she is manipulating, because she say, okay, if anger and being hysterical will not get me anywhere, so I might as well choose the other way around. Yeah, being calm and playing the victim. Yeah, so this is, the way you look at it, it's kind of like, she knows how to get her way around. And this poor guy, yeah, because he's so he's so grateful that he's so grateful because he has this pretty wife and that kind of thing. So he would give anything for her to make her happy. Yeah, so I would say not being grateful, more of being manipulative. And instead of grateful, I would say ungrateful. Yeah, because I mean the husband, it's not that easy to get the invitation, but he managed to get it. And now she said, you might as well give it to someone else. I don't have anything pretty to wear. Yeah, so I want you to follow the progress in Matilda's characteristic, and also look at, I would say, how pitiful the husband is, because in the beginning the husband is pitiful. In the middle of the story, we're gonna find out, how, whether he's going to be the man of the house, or whether he's still going to be a pitiful character. Yeah, so let's move on to the next pair. So we have now we have Atika and Songwei. Yeah. Are they here?
Yes, doctor.
Okay. Is your partner here, Songwei?
I think she's here. Maybe she's internet have problem. I'm chatting her.
Okay.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
I will proceed with line 30. So we didn't prepare a slide presentation, so we just gonna talk. Okay, in line 30, this paragraph portrayed about Matilda. The wife seemed sad, restless, and anxious even after she got what she wanted, which was the pretty dress. So I think she was actually feeling incomplete, or maybe she didn't have much confidence that she didn't have any things that the other rich woman had. Even though she had bought a pretty dress, mostly women might need something extra whenever they went to parties or when they were to meet new people, especially people with higher social status. And her caring husband noticed her weariness. So, and then in line 31, we could tell that her husband has been noticing his wife's odd behavior for those recent 3 days. So he asked his wife on why would she seems that way. So we could say that her wife was being her husband was being concerned, and maybe we could say that the subject is about the concern of the husband. Yeah, and then I will pass the presentation to Songwei. Thank you.
Yes. For the line 32, basically she was answered to his husband's questions. For the line 33, his wife was explaining or more to like complaining about the reason she seemed sad. She felt like she didn't have some other important clothes to wear. She said that she didn't have any jewelry to put on. She was being ungrateful as she damaged more to to her husband. And later she said she didn't want to go to the party. For me, I think this showed that she was being unthankful that she didn't even appreciate her husband's effort to give her the money he saved. So she complained about having more to work for her to feel confident enough to go to the party. I think the subject we can say she was being greedy. She complained and damaged more. That's all. Thank you.
Okay, basically, we are being informed the extent of her ungratefulness. She has the clothes, the pretty party dress, but she's still not happy. Yeah, so it's, oh God, I mean, she is a very demanding individual. Instead of, she should be happy now, she's still not happy. It takes a lot to make her happy. Yeah, so I wonder for you guys, if you are married to someone like this, would you go to the end of the earth with this person, or would you just kind of like leave her behind and find other horizon?
Leave.
Leave or stay?
Just leave.
Leave says the woman, stay says the guy. Yeah, Abu Bakr would stay, wouldn't you? Till death do us part. Yeah, I think Kamarul would say, I will stay because I have promised till death do us part. Okay, so the guys are not sure. Okay, let's move on to the next. Depends on the situation that leads us to marry. Yeah, you love the person, that's why you marry that person. Yeah, and then after the wedding, you'll find out, my God, I have married a monster. Yeah, manipulative behavior is definitely a red flag, but I think a lot of people would ignore the red flag because you are so deep in love with that person already. Yeah, because you think that once you are married, you will be able to change that someone. I think the idea of when you marry someone, you say things will be better, I will change him and all that. I think that's all BS. Yeah. You marry someone for that person. You don't marry that someone because you want to change that person. And anyway, I mean, you guys are, and a marriageable age is like you are old, and I don't think it's easy to change a person when they are at that stage of age. Yeah, so if you know the person is manipulative, it's going to be very abusive, and if you're okay with that, go ahead. If not, it will be very difficult for you to find happiness, yeah, with that kind of relationship. Okay, so let's move on. But again, what you call it, Mr. Major Louisel is so over the moon because he married a beautiful woman, and he kind of like think that it was, you know, she is beyond his mean. He would never have thought he'll be able to marry someone as pretty as Matilda. Yeah, that's why he thinks that he has struck gold, but he didn't know it is not gold. Yeah. Let's move on to the next one. We have Lukman and Jiashi.
Hi, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so first of all, I would like to say sorry because we didn't really prepare any slides for this presentation. So we're going to just present these lines verbally. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to present the meaning of the lines based on our interpretation first, and then my partner Vicky will continue from me. Okay, so the lines that were assigned to us are the lines from lines 34 to 38, and based on our interpretation of these lines is that Madame Loisel or Mathilde is stressed out because she doesn't have any jewel to go to the party. Okay, so her husband asked her to buy some natural flowers as a substitute instead for a jewelry because they didn't have enough money to buy a jewelry. But Madame Loisel is not really fond of that idea because she doesn't want to look inferior to other rich ladies at the party. So from these lines, we can see that Madame Loisel insists to appear rich and fancy, even though she didn't have enough resources to do so. And from these lines, we can also see that Madame Loisel felt embarrassed by her poverty and her condition of life right now, and comparing herself to the other ladies that's not in the same economical status as her. So for the stage, these lines still occurred in the rising action stage, where conflict still building up and tension still proceed to increase, which preparing the story for a dramatic climax later on. So Vicky, can you continue for me?
Okay, for the subject, we think is Lisa, and these 4 paragraphs are written in January that her husband asked her to buy some cheap flowers instead of jewelry. For the issue with these paragraphs is the gap between the rich and the poor. His wife believes that such a high-end party is unbearable without jewelry, and there is nothing more embarrassing than being poor among rich women. Louisa and her husband are very poor, so in this high-end party, standing with the rich without the embellishment of jewelry will make her feel embarrassed. So we think the issue here is the gap between the rich and poor. That's all for our group. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. I like the way Lukman looks at this section, yeah, the 34 and 38. So you managed to highlight the important elements in this line. Yeah, thank you, Lukman. Okay, let's and also Vicky. Yeah, so let's move on to the next section. Hakimi and Amina.
Okay, madam, I'm gonna share screen.
Okay.
Okay, can you see it?
Yeah.
Okay, wait a minute. Okay. So we are going to present from section 39 to 43. In this, we are going to talk about the details, the subject, the issues, and the stage. So this is the section. This is the section. So the section 39, it said, "What goose you are, go find your friend, Madam Fraser, and ask her to lend some jewelry. You know her well enough to do that." Okay, for section 39, you can see that Monsieur Loisel actually is saying is that Madame Loisel is silly because um, she's close to Madame Forrester. So why not ask permission to from Madame Forrester to borrow her jewelry? And in section 40 to 41, uh, we can see Madame Loza of Matilda was happy with the suggestion. She cried out of joy. She was, oh, why did I think about it like that? And then in section 43, 42 and 43, we can see that she went to Madame Forester's house. She told to Madame Forester her situation. And then I guess that Madame Forester agrees, and that's why she opened the large casket, which in my opinion hold Madam's Forester jewelry.
Thank you, Amina. Now, I'm Hakimi, and I'm going to talk about the characters involved from line 39 until 43. Now, it's clear that there are 3 characters involved, and I'm going to focus on Madame Loisel, which is the woman that constantly asks for more and more luxury because she's too aware of her, social status. Now, it's clear that from previous lines, we can see that from her action, she set her sense of shame too high. However, she set herself loose in the dance floor, showing us, the reader, her inner desperation as she tried to, look for any bit of experience of a life of luxury. Monsieur Loisel is her husband, and like Madam said earlier, he's like, he's love her. He loves her. He loved his his wife so much that he willingly take far-fetched extent to make her satisfied. And Madame Forrester is Madame Loisel's friend. She's wealthy, and later on we're going to discover that she's the one that lent some sort of jewelry to our main character, Madame Loisel. So that's for the characters in this line. Next slide. I'm going to pass back to Amina.
The possible issues that we find in this section from section 39 to 43 is Madame Loisel want to have accessories during her in her attire, but she doesn't have any jewelry, so that's one of the issues. And she considered borrowing Madame Forrester jewelries for that, and that's all for the possible issues.
I would identify the stage for these lines as rising action because, as the reader, I would say that the story is building up. It's assembling the components to something bigger that might lead us to some sort of conflict or some sort of line that will make Madame Loisel happy or miserable. So yeah, that's all from us. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Okay. I like the way you have categorized your findings of the lines, from the lines, which is easy to follow. The other thing that I want to ask you, what do you think of this action of Monsieur Louisel when he said, "Why don't you borrow this piece of jewelry from your friend?" How would you consider this action when the husband said, "Why don't we?" Well, in a way, it's we. Why don't we borrow that jewelry? How would that affect? I mean, to the extent that the husband said, "Okay, let's just borrow that piece of jewelry." So how would you describe this action? How would you label this um, this action?
Oh,
Um,
you want to go first? You go first. I mean,
okay, I'll go first. In my opinion, when Monsieur Lozel said, "Oh, why don't you ask her just to lend some jewelry?" I think to me it's quite shameless. He, he, I, how can I say it? Mm, he he just thought about it and just said it. So he was like no hesitation. If it's me and if it's I think Matilda, in her situation where she overshame herself, she would be too shy to ask anybody for anything. So when he suggested that to me, it creates this thoughts in Madame Loisel way of thinking where, oh, why don't I just do that? Because for me it creates it makes Matilda to be a bit shameless. That's for me. That's in my opinion. How about Hakimi?
hello, madam. From my
Yeah.
perspective, I would say the action taken and also the suggestion by Monsieur Loisel is foolish, because normally you would not borrow jewelry from anyone, because jewelry is expensive, it's valuable, and it's risky to borrow something so precious from somebody else. You know, if something happened to that jewelry, Monsieur and Madame Loisel will be in deep trouble. So yeah, I would categorize that action as foolish, but at the same time, it's albeit it's a bit resourceful thinking of Monsieur Loisel.
You feel it's what was it that you said? It was
Foolish.
and
Foolish. But
the last
at that time and at that scene, it's kind of like resourceful of him to think like that.
you think it's resourceful rather than desperation?
It's for me more to desperation rather than resourceful, because you cannot think about anything else. You don't want to steal, but you can borrow, right? So like to me that's kind of desperate.
Yeah, well, in a way, well, you can look at it positively as resourceful. If you look at it negatively as desperation, there are two ways of looking at things, but I think it's more of desperation, because he is, he has gotten the invitation card to make the wife happy. He has sacrificed his 400 francs so that the wife can buy pretty party dress, and now the wife is still not satisfied. So what can I do? Yeah, so okay, you need jewelry. I don't have money anymore. I've given you, to my last franc. So what do I need to do? And then he said, well, the only thing that can be done is to borrow, because they cannot rent. They don't have that much. So borrow. And he said, since you have, your buddy, your good buddy, so why don't you borrow? So most probably you would only borrow things, especially very precious and valuable things, with someone that you are close with. Yeah, so most probably Forestier, Madame Forestier is Madame Louiselle, good friend. Yeah, but I think if we look at it as desperation, in a way, Monsieur Louiselle has thrown away his pride and also his reputation. So I guess in a way he said, what is pride? What is reputation when my wife is unhappy? So, the hell with pride and the hell with all this thing. My only objective in life is to make my wife happy. Yeah? So it's when you said shameless, I would think, yeah, Madame Louiselle is shameless, but this is in contrast because remember from the beginning we talked about the contrast in terms of characteristic. Yeah, so shameless for Matilda, but shameful actually for Monsieur Louiselle. And the way I looked at it, he just throw out his pride into out of the window. Yeah, so in I guess I don't know, this is what you call sacrifice to the end of the world, as long as my wife is happy. Yeah, so let's move on to the next. So you kind of like see how it builds up. Yeah, how the story builds up, the conflict. What is the conflict? And then it's sort of built up, and when we talk about tracing the development, the plot structure, when you read the story, you kind of like together, you feel as if you're climbing up a hill. Yeah, the emotion, it goes like higher and higher and higher. Your expectation is like, oh my God, something is going to happen, something is going to happen. What is it? What is going to happen? You thought that, oh, maybe okay, they're going to borrow jewelry, maybe she will not get it. Will that be the crash that you're expecting? So what would be the crash? Because in a story, when there is that crash, that would be the climax, that would be the turning point. Yeah, so we are still building up, we still haven't reached our turning point. So let's move on to the next section, 44 to 48. Wafri and Jume.
Hello, I'm Muhammad Wafri and my friend Ding Jume, and Ding Jume will be providing some summary and the themes of this our lines, and then I will be continuing with some analysis on what is maybe the deeper meaning of behind these words. Jume,
Okay.
if you will. We didn't prepare a PowerPoint, sorry.
Okay. Hello, Doctor and everyone. We're group 9 and we were going to explain line 44 to 48 of this passage. I will be summarizing and looking into the themes of our lines, which is about a woman was at a friend's house choosing jewelry to wear, but bracelets and power necklace and even a garden clothes exquisite gemstone didn't satisfy her. She just tried it in front of glass, even asking anything else. And last, she found a diamond necklace in a black box, and she was very excited to wear it. And we think this paragraph reflects the influence of social class and material behavior on people, because the woman is not easily satisfied after having too much, and she's greedy to have more and better things. So next, my friend Warfi will continue analysis.
Yes, as previously stated by my friend, so the theme of social class is something that is apparent not only in these lines, but also in the previous lines. It's been building up and showing us little by little how this woman, Madame Michael Loisel, thinks of herself and thinks of what she deserves, in quotation. So the characters in these lines, 44 to 48, are Madame Michael Loisel and Madame Forrester. So as previously stated by my friends Hakimi and Amina, Loisel was at the house of Madame Forrester to get some jewelry to wear at the party. So when presented with a multitude of options, putting on many ornaments, she is still not satisfied. So here you can see that she asked if she has anything else. There's a certain air about this request. She has been given the chance to use someone else's jewelry, yet she's somewhat haughty about this. She's still thinking that she deserves better. Again, it shows here that she is ungrateful. She's asking to borrow someone else's jewelry, yet she's acting like a master that's unsatisfied with her own items. This could also be an indication of her insecurities compared to her richer aristocrat friend. Again, this theme of her comparing herself to others is always shown in this character through her actions. This haughty attitude she shows may be an attempt to hide her excitement from her friend, as it may be perceived as a lower class behavior, whereas a higher class woman would maybe have no reaction to exquisite items. That's just from my perspective. Next, we are introduced to the titular necklace, the one that this entire story revolves around. So she was so stone-faced when looking at the other jewelry, even though she may have been excited to see them. However, when a diamond necklace catches her eye, she is shown to be very, very excited. So much so that she trembles. It shows that she is very materialistic. The beauty and allure of this necklace manages to break her facade, or at least what I interpret to be a facade. It so much shows who she really is. She is obsessed with showing off. Not only that, but showing off that she is deserving of social status and that she is not of a lower caste. Again, an aspect of an inferiority complex. We are shown over and over again that this main character is quite entitled. She wants things her way. She has delusions of grandeur, maybe. If we compare this to real life, it is a timeless issue. People are somewhat not living to their standard, putting material things and showing off for others instead of being pragmatic and grateful for what we do have. It's quite a popular sentiment. I know people in my life. Everyone knows people in life which may face this problem. We buy things because it impresses others, not because we usually want it. Sometimes we want it, but sometimes we want it because we want others to think highly of us. So that seems to be the case here. Also, if we look at previous lines, we can see that she's not actually that lower class. She has various items and trinkets in her house that people of a lower class in that era probably could not afford. If you look into the history of that era, this is the time when probably industrialization was beginning to take root. However, poverty was a very major problem in that time. So people would literally put their kids to work in factories. That's child labor. Yet this woman has items, a decent house, a child servant. She feels as if she's the lowest of the low because of her own personal inferiority and ungratefulness. Again and again, we see the signs of what her character is like throughout the story. It doesn't paint quite a pretty picture of her personality, even though she might be quite beautiful, maybe, as a decently off woman of the time period. Maybe eventually, as the story goes on, her exterior will maybe reflect her interior, but that's to be seen. So that's what we have discussed about these lines. As my friend said, this is still in the rising action, but it's getting closer and closer to what could be seen as a climax. So that's all from us for now.
Okay, thank you, Wafri. Okay, I've read Wafri, I've read your video blogging, yeah, your script, and now I heard what you say about this, few lines, and I think you must be, you are the kind of person who reads ferociously, because I think your knowledge of history and all that, I'm kind of like pretty amazed with what you put forward, yeah, the ideas that you put forward. The same thing with Hakimi, because I kind of like hear maturity in the discussion and able to actually relate to a larger issue, yeah, like the few others just now, yeah. So this is the kind of I think with Lokman also, yeah. So this is the kind of thing that I am looking for, yeah, because this kind of analysis and this kind of sharing your thoughts will help you in terms of writing your theme paper, and then later on your analysis paper, yeah. So I want you to, for some of you, if you are still summarizing or retell what the lines are all about, maybe you can kind of like rearrange your thoughts, yeah, because I think just now with maybe it was with I think with Lokman, I think you actually categorize things, yeah. So that's also a way of analyzing, kind of like, okay, this category, stage of plot and all that. It will actually help you in terms of finding information, yeah. But with Wafri, he brings in the idea of industrialization, child labor, and all that. So you must have read a lot, yeah. And so from actually from this discussion, it actually will inform me how well read you are, or that you have in whether you have read the whole story and all that, or whether you are just focusing on that bit that have been assigned to you, yeah. So to be able to actually understand the story, and then to be able to um, um, develop this analytical skill. You have to read, and then when you listen to your friend, you actually get all this information. And when your friend talks about all this information, it will be able to give you this sequence, yeah, in your thoughts and in your argument. If you're just reading that bit that have been assigned to you, you might not be able to relate and to connect with what your friends are saying, yeah. So would really help you, in fact, to read from the beginning until the end, and not just once, but you have to read it more than once to be able to follow, yeah, this discussion. I know we are going slow, but this is the first time we're actually looking at a narrative, a longer narrative. So I want I want us to go line by line, so that when you write your theme paper, you will not be confused. Yeah, you kind of like know already what to write, yeah, because all this discussion, these are actually examples and also quotation, and also some of you have provided the expansion of the arguments, yeah. So pay close attention to what your friends share, yeah. So for the rest of you, if you kind of like look again at the way you're going to present your idea. If it is rereading and retelling what the lines are, maybe you can follow what Lukman and Vicky, I think, was it Lokman and Vicky or somebody else that categorize things, yeah. So if you do it that way, maybe that will help you in your discussion. Okay, so we're gonna go and take about we'll come back at 12, yeah. We'll come back at 12, and we continue with the next will be Matilda. A different all right. Okay, so let's move on to the next. So you might want to kind of like underline, yeah, this from 49 to 52, because to me it's a important piece of information, an interesting piece of information. We will have Jiu and Pei Yin.
Madam. Okay, madam. Could you allow me share the screen?
All right. Okay.
Okay, thank you. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so our team is presenting line 53 to 56, and let's go line by line. So the first line was, the day of the party arrived. Madame Loiseau was a success. So in this sense, the author is trying to say success, but in what sense? Because it is successful in Madame Loisel's perspective, her dreams of looking good and feeling gracious in a high society. That kind of dream actually finally came true, hence it was a success for her. And then the next line, she was saying she was the prettiest of them all, elegant, gracious, smiling, and mad with joy. This shows that she is actually very intoxicated in this atmosphere, feeling like, oh, this is where she truly belongs, this upper class society. And this line also is from her perspective as well, because, and even though she is already in the elite society, so to say, she's still comparing and wanting to be the best among the upper classes, because she's saying that she's the prettiest of them all. And this shows that she'll actually never stop comparing. Matilda will never stop comparing in the lower classes. In the lower classes, she will want to be the upper class, and in the upper class, she still wants to be the best of the upper class. And I think in this line, the author is actually trying to portray that these type of materialistic desires, it will never end, because you're only going to want more and more, and you won't ever be grateful of what you have in the present. And then the next line, they say, all the men were looking at her, inquiring her name, asking to be introduced, and all the attachants of the cabinet wanted to dance with her. The minister also took notice of her. And this actually paints a picture of what kind of society that Matilda lives in, because people only see the surface value of how pretty she is and how much jewels she's adorned in, and hence that's why all the men were looking at her and asking for her name. There is nothing too deep about it. It's only the surface of what they are seeing, and hence, to put it in a modern context, what we see nowadays is kind of like a woman wearing a lot of branded jewelry like Chanel, Coach, Gucci, those kind of handbags maybe. And those are it is a sort of like an eternal kind of value that we hold in our human nature, which the author is trying to fight with, but it is also I would say it's pretty hard to fight, that people generally just incline to see people through a surface value. And then the last line, she said, she danced with delight, with passion, intoxicated in pleasure, thinking of nothing, in the triumph of her beauty, in the glory of her success, in a sort of cloud of happiness made up all these tributes of all the admirations, of all these awakened desires, of this victory so complete and so sweet to a woman's heart. The fact that the author actually used all these phrases with only commas and not a full sentence, not like a period to end the sentence, it feels like it's describing Matilda's feelings. It shows that she's actually very overwhelmed with all these feelings. These feelings just come and come and come. And she was so happy, as if she has won the battlefield. So for that time, in that era, men actually fight for position and power, and women, on the other hand, they actually fight for social status. So in this case, Matilda has won that social status that she has always wanted. That's why she feels very glorified. And all these awakened desires, the phrase awakened desires was used because all this time, Matilda has not been able to fulfill these desires, and these are like sort of like her true colors are coming out. She is feeling the extent of her desires being like fulfilled, and that's why I think the author used awakened desires. Yeah. And next, Xavier will present.
Okay. Okay. For this paragraph, we can see he enjoys the joy this party brings her so much that he she is so happy that she forgot about her husband, and it also shows that she is very inconsiderate of his husband, and her husband is very feels very proud because he isn't that much of a socialized. And I think the issue of this paragraph is how did she and her husband treat the party, like the feelings and attitude. And next paragraph sounds like she back to reality. This line, she felt this and want to fly so as not to be noticed by the other women. Shows she is very ashamed and doesn't want to accept it. It was a shock to her to be dressed in glamour at a party, but in reality, she was very plain. Well, everyone else was dressed in very glamorous outfits no matter what time of the day. And there is a big drop in the feeling, like super happy in the party to super embarrassed in reality. And the biggest issue overall is that she doesn't like the way he's living and has been surpassing her feeling about it until now. She is a very vain person. She wants to live a life of a superior person, but the reality is that he's not. And that's all. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. In the sections, yeah, in the sections that you are doing, if you look at the definition of a female success in this paragraph, yeah, what it is saying is that she considered herself as being a success. What is her accomplishment? Yeah, so this section is, if you want to look at it through the feminist criticism, if you look at the role of female in a society and how society views female success, yeah, it is not about a concrete accomplishment. Yeah, it is, success here is actually defined by the approval of the men. So I mean, if you look at it, there is no independent accomplishment. Yeah, the accomplishment is actually getting approval from the male in the society. So I'm not really sure how she considers that as a success, but that's the way she sees it. And she said, "My God, I am a, I'm a success tonight because everybody notices me, I talked to a lot of great people." But then what? At the end of the party, you go back to where you are. And in fact, you don't have to arrive home to remind yourself that this is just a fantasy. This is not real. Yeah, for her. I mean, she before she even steps out of the room, yeah, where the party was held, she immediately being bombarded by her own reality. Because yes, she has pretty dress, but the coat, the wrap that she brought, it doesn't match with the pretty party dress that she has, and that's why she doesn't want to put it on. And then she said, let's go. She rushed out. Yeah. So it is, this, for me, this section is actually very sad as a female reading this. It define female success in an occasion. Yeah, it is not because of her accomplishment, but it's because of her getting approval by the standard defined by male in the society. Yeah, so this excerpt would relate to issues on feminism, place of female in the society, the success of female in a society. And when you actually look at it, do you think, because the description was, she was excited, thrilled, and accelerated, feeling acceleration, high speed of acceleration. But is she really happy? Yeah, because the moment the party ended, this is kind of like a Cinderella, when she leaves before when midnight strikes, she goes back to being Cinderella and in her old rag and all that. And this is what it is. So when you trace the development of the story, because to me this sort of like remind me of an episode in Cinderella. So when you liken it to an episode in Cinderella, do you think that you might kind of like want to compare, will her life be like the end of this fairy tale? It's Cinderella. Cinderella, isn't it? That's the fairy tale. And so you kind of like want to look at the parallel between these two stories. Will the ending be similar to the fairy tale Cinderella? Because in a way, Matilda is actually living in a fairy tale world. So and it's kind of like a you wonder if she is really happy, because she said she is happy. And if we kind of like look at it in a larger issue, the definition of success of a female in a society, in a culture during that period of time. So it's very superficial. And with Matilda, she likes to show off and all that, even though that is not hers. The gown actually was purchased through her husband's sacrifice, and then the jewelry, it's not hers. She borrowed it. But if you look at the story, it's even though it was written years and years ago, decades ago, but you'll find that there are similarities in what's happening in the real world today. Because people post on Facebook and pictures on IG. They just show pictures of having this material possession, having the time of their life and all that. And of course, there are some people who actually share, crying and all that. But most of the pictures, moment that they share, like when they update their status, they're buying they're drinking frappuccino, Starbucks, that kind of thing. It's so very superficial. So in a way, society during that period of time and now, there's not much difference. There's not much difference. And Matilda will definitely feel very comfortable in 21st century now, this period of time. And of course, when she was having fun and all that, you kind of like ask, where is her husband? So I was thinking like maybe both of them would be dancing and circulating, but no, the husband is in a different room, and only she's having fun. So kind of like again emphasizing one characteristic of Matilda. So so this section, to me, it's also an important section, because it actually would get you to relate to the structure of fairy tale of Cinderella. Okay, so let's move on to next Wen Liang and Sam.
Okay, hello, doctor. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. We will first apologize for we haven't prepared the slides for our presentation, and we will verbally present. I will analyze the text, and Samuel will handle the rest. Okay. This paragraph. Our line is from 56 to 57 to 60. Okay. Um, this paragraph describes the sense where they will live after participating in the dance party. There are few words to express her emotions. Went downstairs rapidly, feel disgusted, shivering. I think this is for her to experience the excitement of the party just now and the emptiness after the grand ceremony. Everything just now is not what she really owns. It's like a dream. No matter how much she doesn't want to wake up, she has to face the reality. We think that Nighthawk caps were actually referring to Matilda. She was just like the caps, would not want to be seen after the ball, as though she was ashamed of her misery. However, by contrast, his husband from previous line, we know that he even brings clothes from home to keep her from catching cold. Even after she comes out of the party, she still worries about her wife, whether she will catch cold. I think all of this shows his unselfish love for his wife. Okay, I will pass to Samuel.
Okay, thank you, William. And I will continue to interpret the story. And as mentioned just now, she had a caring and loving husband, but obviously she did not appreciate it. As we can see there, her husband is like really cared about her. Wait a minute, it will catch cold outside. I will call a cab. But she did not listen to him and went downstairs rapidly. If we want to go away from someone eagerly or rapidly, like Madame Loisel, I would say that maybe she felt ashamed being around her husband, so that she wanted to went downstairs rapidly, and she didn't want the other attendees of the ball to see her being with a man at a lower social class, and she just liked to compare with others and dreamt to live in a so-called high-class society. She just saw what the other woman had and wanted to be like them, but she did not realize that she had a loving husband that cared about her, even though she realized she did not want that. What she wanted is luxury and living in the high-class society. Perhaps for the other woman who is already in the high-class society, maybe what they desire is a loving husband, like what Matilda has. But this is a human being, isn't it? This is the irony of human being. We always wanted something that we don't have, and we'll only realize how important they are after losing them, because they don't have the luxury. So because she don't have all those luxuries, all those jewelries, or the social class that will be respected by others, so she wanted it. And she had a caring husband, so she felt like she took it for granted, and she would not appreciate what her husband did. And from their interaction, even though they are married, I didn't see any love from the wife to the husband, because maybe in the past, marriage is not something that, oh, we get married because we love each other. It's like we get married because we have to. We have to get married because in the past, it's not like nowadays. If you want to be single, you don't want to get married, it's okay, it's fine. No one will judge about you. But in the past, it's like a mandatory thing to get married, even though you don't love your partner. If you are not married at a, a relatively old age, people will start to point fingers at you. What's wrong with this man, or what's wrong with this lady? Why don't he or she wanted to get married? So this is the difference. People in the past, they get married because they had to, yeah, because of the judgment from the society. And from the lines there, we can see that the husband is loving and caring, which is obvious and being pointed out repeatedly before this. And the wife is being materialistic and narcissist, which she only cared about herself. And the subject, from what I can see here, is actually the irony of human beings, yeah? Because in the high class society, I'm relating to the situation right now. In most of the high class society, the women, the wife will will desire for the husband's attention, the husband's love and care. But for those who are in the middle class or a lower class, they want, what they want is not a caring or loving husband. What they want is money and luxury. Yeah, so we would just never appreciate what we have, and we want things that other people have. So this is a little bit ironic, I would say. And from what Young William has said just now, the Nighthawk caps, they were actually, I saw that as a metaphorical expression referring to Madame Loisel. Yeah, she's just like those Nighthawk caps, which will only be seen in Paris only after night has fallen. She only wanted to be seen when she was at the ball, not after the ball, because like what Madam has said just now, the fairy tale is over. So she was no longer the Cinderella, so she did not want the people to see them. And about the plot, I would say this is still at the rising action. It's very close to the climax, but these lines are still in the rising action stage, I would say. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Yeah, it is. We still haven't found the climax yet. Yeah, so this is another another way of building up the suspense. Yeah, because I mean, you feel like the story has quite a while now, so you kind of like wonder when is it going to explode? When is it going to explode? And the other thing Sam mentioned about metaphorical expression. So I want you to highlight, yeah, the section 60. She's being compared to the Nighthawk. Yeah, so this expression highlight that, and I think this section and also maybe the section before, you can use this to highlight the issue on the definition of happiness. What makes a person happy? Yeah, and you would think that for Matilda it would be the material possession, but is she really happy? Yeah. I mean, she has got all those things, and she has got attention. People paid attention to her. The minister noticed her. She's in the best of gown, and she's wearing expensive jewelry, and yet now we kind of like see them like running away. Yeah, it's like a thief in the night. So would that would you call that as being happy? Yeah. And all this um, this moment from being at the party and now trying to escape the place of the party. It's really it's funny. I mean, as Sam said, it's ironic. I felt that it's funny. I mean, like, she was celebrated at that place, and now she wants to escape. She wants to run away. So to me, it's pretty funny. Why can't the jubilation be extended? The euphoric feeling be extended outside the um, um, the ballroom. Yeah, why can't it be extended to that? Again, we relate to the what you call it, Cinderella syndrome. I guess you call it Cinderella syndrome, because um, um, at midnight, yeah, everything else goes back to reality. Yeah, so what she had before was just fantasy. And imagine the heartache, the things that the unhappiness and all that built up for just few hours of so-called happiness. Yeah, so would you want to um, um, put your life online for just a few moments of happiness? So I feel that this section and the section before, you can relate to one theme. Yeah, the subject of happiness. You could relate to that. Okay, let's move on to the next section. We have where am I? Fakrullah and Azrin, yeah, 61 to 64.
Madam, can I share screen?
Yeah.
Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Wait. Okay, so I'll be explaining the overview on line 61 till 64, and later my partner will give the detailed analysis line by line. So this part, line 61 to 64, we both think that, we both think that this part is in between of the rising action and the climax, because this is the part where Madame Loisa realized that the necklace is gone. So I think it is the beginning of the climax of this story. And then we both do sense that this particular part have the feeling of devastation and realization. Just like I said just now, this is the part where the necklace is gone. And then the subject for this part is Mr. and Mrs. Loisel, and also the necklace. The time setting is at dawn because they just got back from the event. And then the place setting is Woody Martis, where they live, and also the ministry where the event was held. And the main issue of this line is that we both think that Madame Loisel was careless. Since she didn't take a good care of the necklace. And we also think that she is quite ignorant because she was anxious when the necklace is gone, but she didn't admit it. It was her fault that the necklace is gone. And we also think that she is quite slow-witted. I'm not sure how to describe it, because when she realized the necklace is gone, all she did was crying instead of, like, I mean, if I were her, I would definitely gelabah. I don't know the English word for it, but if I found out the necklace is gone, I would definitely search it right away while crying instead of just sit there and cry. Okay, now let's move on to the line by line analysis.
Thank you, Azrin.
we go to the next? Okay, right. Okay, so for the line 61, it's actually it brought them to their door through the Matis, and they went up to their own stairs. Sadly for her, it was finished, and he was thinking that he would have to be at the ministry at 10 o'clock. So the analysis that we found in this particular line is actually that Mademoiselle felt sad since her glamorous life was over and she was back to reality. Now we can see that before this she was so happy because she was this other person. She was wearing a very glamorous attire, and also the necklace is very beautiful on her, and everyone was looking at her like she was the prettiest at the event, right? And also her husband was in rush since he needed to get back to his office, which is at the ministry at 10 a.m. This is very the rushing part where Mr. Loisel need to go back.
Fakrullah, you gone. I
Need
can't
to
hear
go
you.
to, sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Her husband was in rush since he needed to get back. So I said he needed to go back to his place, his workplace, which is at the ministry where the event was held. So before, and they went back to their place at 4 a.m., like very late in the dawn. Okay, so this is the back for the madam was just now. Um, we think that she felt sad because it was a very once in a lifetime for her because she doesn't really get, she didn't always get to wear very glamorous jewelries and also glamorous outfit attire for her to be in a social status. So that's our explanation and analysis for line 61. For line 62, she took off the wraps which she had, covered her shoulders before the mirror so as to see herself once more in her glory. But suddenly she cried. She no longer had the necklace around her throat. So in this line, we found that in the middle of undressing herself, she looked into the mirror, admiring her last look before she realized that the necklace was gone. Before she undressed herself, she also, this is the last time she wears this, like, oh, I will never wear this again. Oh, maybe this is our once in a lifetime. I will never get to wear this like this jewelry. I'll need to return it to honor. But then she was so worried that her heart was sinking because she suddenly found that the necklace was gone and it's not attached to her anymore. She was devastated, and this scene was actually was so intense because this is the climax that Azrin told us now, where we can see the main issue of this whole story is actually the necklace, which she had no longer had with her. So, just like Azrin said just now, she had nothing else to do is but crying. Because if I were her too, I would definitely look for the necklace while crying, not only crying and asking someone else to return it for it to you, right? So, can we go to line 63? Okay, her husband have half undressed already asked. Okay, so this is actually the part where we talk about husband was getting ready to go to work, and he was undressing himself because he was obviously kind of late to go to work. So well, we can see that even though he was undressing, but he also cared about his wife that was crying at the moment. So he had also had a time to ask his wife what happened. Okay, so and it comes to the line 64, which is what is the matter with you? The husband was so concerned with his sudden reaction, they were suddenly crying when she was undressing herself. You know, so we also found that actually in this line 64, the husband was not only concerned, but he also cared about his wife. And he didn't want to see his wife in a very bad situation or sad situation just because they just got back from a very big event. Yeah, so I think that's our analysis for this, for our part. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I think here also would be part where you can um, identify a theme. The idea that you be you, yeah, be true to yourself, because all these material things they're just a facade. Not, this does not guarantee guarantee happiness, yeah? Because people will think that all these material possessions will ensure happiness. I don't think so. Yeah, I mean, it is revealed here. In fact, this material possession is the cause of your unhappiness. Yeah, it is the cause of your, in the story, the material possession, the wanting to have that material possession actually cause damage to their happiness and also cause unhappiness. Yeah, I would like to highlight here. Yeah, the setting of the story is actually beginning of dawn. Yeah, so I think Sam mentioned something about irony, and you here I would say you can identify it as ironic. Yeah, it's irony because the setting is the dawn. Yeah, during dawn, beginning of a new day. So when we talk about beginning of a new day at dawn, it's supposed to be a new start, and because it's beginning of the day, it would signify something positive, something growing, something great. Yeah, but when you read further, this is when Matilda discovered she doesn't have the necklace anymore. Yeah, so here it's ironic. The setting is something positive, and yet the event that follows something negative. Yeah, so here, if you look at the technique of writing, the device that is being used, the writing device here, yeah, which is irony. And before this, the device that is used is also irony. And I think earlier also the device of irony is being used. Yeah, so perhaps you should take note of this device, the literary device of irony that is being used. Do you think this device is going to be used towards the end of the story? And for me, noticing all these things will help you to predict, yeah, to engage in prediction, and also to be able to um, not be surprised, I would say, with the ending. Yeah, because the writer has given you hints. It's just that it's up for you as the reader to pick up. Yeah, so the writing device, the figurative language, the irony is being used. So do you think this technique is going to be used later on until the end of the story? Yeah, so take note of that. So I think we just have one more pair. Let's move on to let's move on to Zedong and Honey, Nura Honey.
Yes, madam. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Today, my partner and I will introduce to you the short story analyze line 65 to 68. Since we have not prepared a slide, so we will try our best to slow down our speech and try our best to let you know what we mean. So sorry. Let me read the paragraph first. She turned to him, terror-stricken. I have not, Tub, threatened. What? How? It is not possible. Okay. When she took off her package, she found that her necklace no longer hung around her neck. Louisa walked out of the house in a panic and returned the same way. She was frightened and sat there waiting for him. He was even more panicked when he got home. He didn't find the necklace. He asked her to write to Forrester, saying that she had broken the clasp of the necklace and was repairing it. When they got home, Louisa realized that she had lost the necklace. She and her husband discussed the situation frantically. She felt it after she left, so it must be somewhere on the road. Her husband went back to see the whole process. They have just walked, even though he had to go to work within a few hours. But a few hours later, he returned empty-handed.
Zhidong,
yeah,
hang on. Yours is just this, right? 65 to
68.
65 to 68, right? I mean, it's just this and nothing else, right?
Yeah.
Because I think
This
the
is
one the one that you are saying, I think it actually straddles to the other lines.
Yeah, because I think this short paragraph is the information is too little. So I think.
Yeah. I mean, if the information is too little, then you are very lucky. Just
Yeah.
you don't have to go, because what you are saying is actually you're going over other lines. So if it is just this, do not feel guilty. you should celebrate and say,
I
oh,
see.
I don't have much to say because this is just it and that's it, not much.
Okay,
So
thank you.
don't feel guilty when these are the only things that you got.
Okay, I see. So thank you. So I think this is on my part, and my partner will introduce you to the details of the short paragraph. Thank you.
All right.
Okay, so Madam, yeah, our lines are just actually talking about the expressions when they realize that they lost the necklace. So for the line 65, we think that it is talking about her facial expression and her feelings when she realized there is something is not right, like she's missing the necklace. And then line 66 is explaining about her trying to say something to her husband. She is stuttering to say that she lost the necklace. Because she already realized her mistakes. That's why she's stuttering. And then for the next line, this line is now explaining her husband's reaction when he heard that the necklace is missing. And for the last line, it expresses her feelings after losing the diamond necklace, because the diamond necklace is very expensive and she seems like she can't believe that she lost it. So we both think that the subject in here would be the necklace, and the issue is both she and her husband are panicking over a necklace that is currently missing. And then the emotional traits that we think might be in here is they are both terrified, panicked, and scared. Also, I think the characteristic of the woman is that she is careless. And lastly, I believe that our part is the climax, where this is the tension of this story. Yeah, that's all from us. Thank you.
So even though it's only 4 lines, yeah, actually this event is very important because this marks the climax of the story. Yeah, the turning point of the story. Yeah, because if the necklace was not lost, they would have continued with their life. Yeah, their previous life, but because they lost the necklace, I think some of you might, when you refer to internet, there are other events that are identified as climax, but it's easier to identify climax because climax, you change that to turning point, yeah, changes direction. Which event in the story changes the direction of the story? If in this story, if Matilda does not lose her necklace, they would have discontinued with their life. She would be complaining all the time, even though she has people helping her with the housework and all that, she would be complaining, until the end of time. Yeah, and the husband would just endure the complaint and pretend to be happy. And I'm not really sure how long he's going to be happy, because when they get to be like 40 or 50 years old, then he realized, oh my God, the woman who is keep on complaining is no longer that pretty young girl. She's an old hag. So maybe it's time for me to move on. This is the climax, the turning point, the most important event in the story, because it changes the direction of the story. Yeah. So To me, this is very important. And then because it is at the pinnacle, at the tip of the story, and after that everything else would go down. There is this falling action. Yeah, so that's why I want you to actually look at, this is the beginning of something. Beginning of what? It's the end of their I would say a good life, not a great life, but a good life. Yeah, but it is the beginning of what kind of life? Yeah, and you, this is the beginning of, because we're talking about falling action, so this is the beginning of the downfall. Yeah, and if you look at the words that are described, yeah, it's no longer happy, excited, but it's terror stricken, it's frightened. Yeah, the words that I use different. It is now the tempo of the story is different because it changes everything. So that is why this event, the losing of the necklace, is the climax. Yeah, and I would like you to, for the rest of you to actually look at, you circle the words that I use. Yeah, so in this 5 lines, the terror-stricken, the frightened, completely opposite of the words that we come across the first half of the story. Yeah, so I want you to, the rest of you, yeah, who are going to do this, we are going to trace the diction, the words that are used, because this is another technique that the writer uses to help us analyze, to help us predict, to help us identify. Yeah, okay. We have, I think, half of the story. We'll do it next week. Yeah, because I want us to go line by line, so that you will know what to do when you are asked to analyze on your own. But with the short story, I will give you the short story, perhaps later this week, and it's similar to the poem, yeah, where you will be, those of you who have similar topic, you would get together. I would encourage you to get together and have discussion, yeah, because I see that some of you, you are you have the knack already in analyzing. Yeah, so I think if you you are in a group, you will actually benefit from each other, because quite a number of you are for me, you are in the right direction when you want to analyze a text. Yeah, okay, so I will see you next week. We will continue with this, and hopefully this is another thing that I want to remind you. Yeah, even though the lecturer said, oh, we're going to discuss this and all that, and she didn't say you need to have slides and all that. Always be prepared with slides, because yeah, you're going to do oral discussion, but it will be helpful for everybody else to have visual information. Yeah, the visual information. But to not have the slides would also be good, because then we are forced to listen to you. When we are forced to listen to you, that would be a way for us to improve our listening skill. Because as a teacher, you as a future teacher, you are not just required to be a good speaker, but you need to be great listener. Yeah, so some of you, you don't have the slides. That's okay. Because what you call it, it's presentation, and more towards, some of you have it, which is good. Some of you don't have it, which is also good, because we want to have both what do you call it, focusing on the points, and also to focusing on the presentation, oral presentation, and also the listening skill. Yeah, when you don't have the visual information in front of you, you will listen harder. Yeah, so what you call it? So it's up to you, but make sure that if you are doing just oral presentation without the visual information, you cannot rush your presentation. Yeah, because people are just focusing on what you are saying. So you must make sure that clarity is there. You must make sure you don't rush your discussion, your presentation. Yeah, so depend if you're using only um, oral presentation without the visual, then make sure that it's clear, we can follow your presentation. Okay, so thank you very much. Let me stop share. Okay, so we have identified until the climax, because the rest of the story is just falling action and the ending of the story. Yeah, so I think like right now what you can do is that you can fill up already the introduction, the exposition, the rising action, so you can identify the conflict, what are the conflict. Yeah, and then we have identified the climax, and then now we are going next week we are looking at the falling action and also the denouement. Yeah, so if you're not sure how Cinderella, the fairy tales, how what the story is like, I hope you can check out how the story goes and see in what way it is parallel in the structure, some of the structure, the events parallel to the necklace. Yeah. Okay, so thank you very much, everyone. I will see you next week. Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you, madam. Bye-bye.
Thank you, madam.
Bye.
Madam.